Hello, my name is Ryan Mack. I'm president of Optimum Capital Management, and you are back with On the Spot again, special edition with all about business. Youth financial literacy soldiers on the rise. These are college students coming and learning about financial literacy, and then taking these complex economic issues and then learning about them and taking them directly to the streets. This is what it's all about. We don't need any booty shaking. We don't need any commercials, all this stuff in order to entice them to make their stuff sound interesting. It's all about intellect. Learning and knowledge is cool again. This topic, we're going to come back and talking about healthcare. So healthcare, we got Medicare cuts coming along the way. We got the Senate is going back and forth with proposals. They got over $800 billion of proposals on the table. We got Joe Lieberman going back and forth and Senator Nelson and people trying to get Senator Snowe. What's going on with healthcare right now? Talk to us.
Well, currently, the bills are on the table and they're being debated heavily. Right now, as you know, America, the healthcare system needs to be reformed. There are millions of uninsured Americans, and the Americans who are insured are being victimized by private insurance companies. So basically, one of the one of the proposals of this health reform is to create an environment that is both affordable and equitable for all Americans, as well as provide coverage for the uninsured, roughly 30 million at present time. Now, one of the issues on the table is Medicare cuts. One area in particular that I'm concerned with, as you should be concerned with, is home care for the elderly. That would be like the visiting nurse services and in some cases hospice care. Now, on the floor, they voted to reduce spending on home care. Under the House bill, $55 billion. Under the Senate bill, $43 billion. Now, this would be done to reduce costs for the healthcare system. Now, the issue is, can we reduce costs without reducing services? And in my personal opinion, I don't believe that we will be able to achieve this balance, but there have been claims that, healthcare has been wasteful in its spending. Home care does not seem like it's wasteful because home care prevents readmission to the hospitals. Also, it provides follow-up care for patients after surgery who've been discharged. So, it's easier and cheaper and more affordable to treat and care for a patient in their home as opposed to loan them a bed at the local hospital.
Wow.
So I disagree with this cut. But
so we got a lot of issues going on. This is probably the biggest piece of legislation this is the biggest piece of healthcare reform that we've had in the history of this country. Are there any thoughts in terms of, are we going in the right direction? Are we cutting services away from seniors? Is this the right thing to be talking about right now?
Yeah, well, I have a few thoughts on that, as a matter of fact. And, with the fact that the Democrats are going with this legislation are cutting over $400 billion in Medicare services, that's actually huge, and I think a lot of seniors are very worried about that. And the Democrats are also saying that, well, this is not going to affect anything in reference to reducing Medicare benefits that is guaranteed to the seniors. Now, if you're taking $400 billion away, someone wants to know how come or why it's not affecting it. And that's what I want to know. Why isn't it affecting it? And that's a lot of money to be taken out of the system and say, well, it's not going to affect Medicare benefits. It has to affect it in some way, and we want to know. And I think that if the Democrats can come out and explain why it will not affect it, more people will back it.
Well, they talked about how reimbursements to health insurance companies up to $177 billion are actually being services that are already provided under Medicare, but are actually being paid to insurance companies. So it's almost like paying the kitty twice. So that's $177 billion that could be saved right there. Is this rational logic, or are we really cutting services from our seniors? Oh, do y'all have any thoughts on this proposal?
I do believe that we're cutting services from our seniors, but at the end of the day, we have to think about which services should be cut. Should the seniors have to fall victim to not being able to have the hospice or the home service care, or should the millions of dollars come out of the research and development that goes in to say maybe to find cures for cancer or for AIDS? And I think that a lot of the poll or debate is about, you have all of these services and all this money, we have to get the money from somewhere. Where do we start? And I really just want to know from Manny's perspective, what do you feel is a top priority? Should it be the seniors that get the short end of the stick, or should we look more into the future and, like I said, try to focus on some of the deadly diseases?
Definitely. I do feel that the seniors are in jeopardy. Their services are being jeopardized, their benefits are being jeopardized, and this goes against the aim of this health reform. It's affordable and equitable care. And one of the claims made by President Obama, and I'm an Obama supporter, was that if you're happy and content with your current plan, you may keep it. Now, there are people receiving home care who are happy and content with their home care who may not have it after this legislation is passed. So now, I definitely think we need to look in another direction. A direction I would really like to see be pursued is a tax on the compensation of insurance executives in the income bracket of 400 grand or better. You know, this tax of their salaries, I mean, come on, 400 grand? You're not hurting. This tax on the executive salaries would generate an estimated $651 million over the next 10 years, which can provide this home care. We don't have to bother these
million or
seniors.
billion?
Million.
Okay.
Now, you know, also, I feel this tax is fair because check this out. Aetna is forcing 600,000 patients to drop their coverage by next year to meet projected profit goals. Come on, something has to be done. We need another option. We need a public option.
So is this a war that individuals are trying to fight? I mean, it seems like you're trying to have taxes on individuals making compensation. Is this a war we're just going after just because they're making money? Are we attacking those who are making additional capital?
We're not attacking those, pardon me. We're attacking insurance companies who are just making money. What service do insurance companies provide? They're the middle ground between patient and doctor. So they take the money from the patient and give it to the doctor.
Their services providing money for the insurance company. That's their services right now, it seems. That's all.
Are you a stakeholder?
Oh, no.
Are you a stakeholder? Because check this out. They answer to you.
Oh,
now, if you're okay with 600,000 patients being forced out of their plan, I have to ask you again. Are you a stakeholder?
Oh, man, definitely, man.
Do you have health
I'm telling you,
coverage?
I do have health coverage.
Are you with Aetna?
Oh, no.
Who are you with?
I'm with the VA, brother.
All right.
VA public that you have the true
I got
public
the
option.
Public option.
He has the public option.
We need the public option. Lieberman, we need it. Back up.
What happened with Lieberman?
Oh, well, you know, he's openly, stated that he will fight the public option at every turn. And at one point he was with the Democrats, then he turned independent, and now he's catering to the Republicans. I mean, come on. We don't need people like that making decisions on our health care.
So what do you say to the medical centers and the doctors who charge patients for different exams? How does that affect the relationship between the medical center and the insurance companies? Because it is happening. Doctors are giving exams that patients really don't need just to generate the income from insurance companies. So,
see, the doctors are not entirely at fault for that because there's something known as malpractice insurance. Are you familiar with malpractice insurance?
Yeah.
The premiums are extremely high, so they are issuing these tests to.
Are you in favor of tort reform?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So now that's actually traditional. Okay. So there you go. So now that's traditionally on the right. Seems like you're kind of. So would you consider yourself a more progressive or more conservative on this issue of health?
I believe myself to be progressive.
Okay. All right. Well, so tort reform is a real conservative perspective.
Well, you know what? If it leads to progress, then it's progressive. Public option.
There you go. There you go. That's why you come to On the Spot. Again, all about business. These are young men in college learning and teaching about financial literacy, economic principles, and issues that impact you, your pocket, your bottom line, everything from healthcare to commercial real estate to financial markets. All these things we discuss right here, all about business, financial literacy, soldiers on the rise. Next time On the Spot.